What is up, guys? Patrick here for the Muse Culture podcast. This week it's Con, Martin, Terry and myself. And this week the news hasn't been too quick. It's been pretty slow, mainly because of GTA 5 coming out and nobody else has got any time to do anything. But the first thing I thought we'd talk about is what Valve and the Steam service has been doing recently. With the recent announcements. They had the announcement on Monday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And what did they say?
They said that I'm getting one first before anybody else. Steam
You
OS
wish.
is mine. Yeah, has anybody, okay, I know that there was an announcement about Steam OS, which is the new operating system from Steam, but can I just ask, how many of you are looking at the Steam-powered website, the living room, and actually joining in to participate to get one?
I've signed up. I've gone on the community page. I've made that. I've already got 10 friends on Steam. I think there was some of the requirements to potentially get. It's a beta?
Yeah,
type, isn't
to
it,
get in the
from
beta.
Valve.
That's right. You've got to have 10 friends. So I'm just going to plug it now and say podcast@museculture.net. I need some friends so that I can participate.
10 people to add to your Steam account.
Yeah, I just need another 6. So anybody, podcast@museculture.net, befriend me, please. Cries
Yes.
a rile. I'll put it in the chat description.
So if you guys have been living under a rock since Monday, it's only been a few days, so you should be okay. But on Monday they announced the Steam OS. Was it today they announced the Steam machines, the Steam console systems that are meant to be going in your living room?
Oh, right.
And they're giving out 300 of them to random Steam members who obviously complete the criteria that they've set out, like have 10 friends, stuff like that. So they'll give out 300 of these boxes, and people will beta test them and tell Steam what it's like. So,
yeah, it says it on the it's store.steampowered.com/living room/Steam machines. We'll pop it in the description, and it does say on there, there's 300 they're shipping out. You can get one free of charge. You've just got to meet the eligibility, which you said was 10 friends. I think you've got to be part of the community group, accept some terms and conditions as such. And one of the criteria, which is great, I love it, you've got to play a game using a gamepad in the big picture mode.
How do they track that? They must then track how you play your games with what as well.
I gotta admit, I'm just clicking on it now just to find out and see how they are actually going to track it, because I'm a little bit behind the times. I haven't actually tried this Steam picture yet. I know it's been out a while, but I haven't actually given it a go.
I've used the big picture, I've booted it up and looked around. I've never launched a game from it, but I have used the controller.
Yeah, it's pretty seamless.
Yeah.
I've only used it a couple of times. It's just like using any other sort of console dashboard. But,
if not better, to be honest.
Yeah. To be fair, it's perfectly fine. It's like they've been doing it for years, but it's absolutely great. With the tracking of the gamepad, I honestly don't know. I know when a friend is playing a game on your Steam, it actually puts a little gamepad up next to their name to show that they're using it.
Tells you when they're
how they're
playing.
tracking that. I will never know.
I guess they just look in your host of your USB ports and see if there's a gamepad connected. But so the Steam OS is a Linux-based system that Steam, I guess, have made. That is basically, I don't know, I haven't seen any screenshots, but I presume it's just Steam in an operating system, and it'll just run Steam. So it's basically the Xbox or the PS4 operating system, but it's going to be running on Linux, which I think there might be a bit of a problem, isn't it? Because I know Valve have partnered up with Nvidia, so they get a lot more support, but there's not many games that are available on Linux, is there? No big releases anyway.
Well, I think that at least the game base for it's growing slowly but surely, and with this force as big as Steam driving behind it, I think you're going to see a big improvement in that.
I think the latest number was 200, was it? I think.
How many of them were AAA titles?
No, I don't think there were many of them, if there were any at all.
Yeah, which is the issue.
I mean,
but then it also
go
begs the question. Yeah, there's 3 announcements that Valve are putting out. The first one was Steam OS. The second one has been Steam Box or Steam Machines or whatever they're called, which are going to be made not only by Valve but other companies as well. So there'll be a variety. They just have to meet certain requirements, also almost like what they do with Android, and it's a free operating system as well. But the third announcement, a lot of people have been speculating the fact that it's probably, or not probably, but it's most likely going to be Half-Life 3, Portal 3, and what's the other one? Left 4 Dead 3, and make them exclusive for the Steam box. Now, if they did that, everybody would buy a Steam box, and you would have bigger sales number than you would do for the Xbox One and the PS4. I guarantee it.
I'm sorry, I'm not sold. If it was Lego,
they released
maybe.
all of them games. Anything with Lego for you. But if they released all of them games just on that for say a year of exclusivity, everybody would buy one.
You got to think.
Could this be it though? Could this be Half-Life 3 after over 10 years of the internet begging and crying and screaming for this game? Could this be it?
They've got a good excuse to be doing it now, haven't they?
So
They've got their own operating system, their own actual hardware, they've got their own software, their own hardware now. If they just had their own games and they put it onto that, they would have the best exclusives of any console.
Yeah.
But, I mean, can Half-Life 3 fill the big boots of Half-Life 1 and 2 now, after all this time? I mean, is Half-Life still relevant today? And if
I think it would be.
And how does it catch up? How does it push the boundaries?
Do you know what?
Again?
I've never played the Half-Life 2 storyline because I've only ever used it as a mod program. I wasn't around when it first came out. Well, I wasn't on the PC scene when it first came out. So I was never one of them people who played through that career or the story mode of it. Has anybody here played through the story mode?
All of them, yeah.
I have played through a bit, but I got stuck.
Is there a reoccurring storyline throughout the series so far?
Very much. It's very much an overarching storyline. It's
Can you give us a synopsis?
Well, I mean, the first game essentially comes down to a science experiment going wrong, which floods our dimension full of aliens, which the Silence protagonist Gordon Freeman has to close the rift and get rid of all the aliens. And that's kind of your general 90s sci-fi script. And then Half-Life 2 is kind of the way around, where this massive alien paramilitary force, what are they called again?
No, honestly, I can't remember.
The Combine.
Yes. Yep.
The Combine invade our world and they enslave us. And it's all about him, again, the sound protagonist Gordon Freeman, who never says a word, working as part of the resistance movement to stop them from getting into our world by closing the rift. And between Half-Life 2, Episode 1 and Episode 2, the scales are slowly shifting, we're managing to fight back. And Episode 2 left us in a real cliffhanger all that time ago, and there were so many people waiting to see what would happen next, and nothing.
That's the thing. When was Half-Life 2 released? Can you remember? This?
I couldn't even tell you.
No, it's been that long. It's the amount of times you see on a forum or anywhere really, on any Facebook page to do with Steam or anything, it's like, oh, there's 3 circles on this picture, that must mean Half-Life 3's announced.
Half-Life 2 originally came out on November 16th, 2004.
Jeez.
2004, so that was before this generation of consoles. The PS2 was a thing, and the main console out there with the GameCube, I guess, when Half-Life 2 was announced and released. But, okay, so if you don't think it's going to be Portal 3, Half-Life 3, and Left 4 Dead 3, or any of the new Steam games, what do you think the third announcement is going to be? Because I guess they would have to have something big to announce as the third and final thing. What do you think?
I mean, I'd love it to be Half-Life 3. I really would. I mean, I'm one of those people who subscribes to all the fervour and amazement about anything that looks vaguely Half-Life 3 related. But I mean, it's almost too good to be true. So I mean, what else could it be? Could it be that they're opening up development side on hardware to multiple producers? Could it be?
They've already announced that the fact that the hardware is going to be produced by not just Valve but everyone, like loads of people. As long as you can meet the certain requirements to run the system, anybody can create a Steam box.
Could we be looking at a more open base for bringing games to these things, or could it even just be something as simple as just a new source engine? No games, just the engine.
Maybe.
I mean,
I think for it to be the third and final. I think for it to be the third and final announcement of this sort of collection.
Yeah, because it's gonna be a finale, isn't it? Really.
I've really got a strong feeling it's gonna be Half-Life 3 or Left 4 Dead 3. Because even Left 4 Dead 3 was rumoured by somebody hacking the Steam.
Somebody was getting a tour around the Valve or Steam offices from was it a Dota tournament? And the people that were involved got a tour around, and someone was taking just random pictures, and it happened, he posted pictures on the internet onto a forum or something like you would, and it happened to be that someone noticed on one of the pictures he took there was a monitor, and on that monitor there was a list of updates and things going through on a developer's computer. And one of them was it was Half-Life 3 engine or something. It's HL3 update or source free engine or something like that. So it's not confirmed, and Steam are very good at keeping things quiet. Like people knew about the potential of a Steam box, but nobody knew about Steam OS really. There was no leaks on that.
I could admit, when I saw that on Monday, I'd never seen anything like that before. You know that, obviously with like Microsoft, you got leaks of the console, what it was going to look like, and the controller, and then they were taken off YouTube, and that straight away. But yeah, I agree with you. This didn't really see that one coming.
No.
So I mean,
nobody sees what Steve's doing or Valve are doing.
So here's a question.
He's keeping it to himself.
I mean, PC gaming has been pretty much Windows dominated for as long as anyone can remember. You know, if you want to play a game, it had to be on Windows. And you've seen people that have been stuck on XP for so long because nobody wanted to go to Vista. And then when 7 came out, people reluctantly moved to 7. You know, and they were PC gaming on there. 8 came out, we went through the standard cycle of distrust. You know, which Windows I earned because it was horrible. So now that Windows has managed to royally screw things up with their player base, is this going to be the big exodus of PC gamers finally leaving Windows and coming to the Steam OS?
Now, yeah, that's a good point, because one of the main things that the Steam OS offers is that if you have one of these Steam boxes, whoever you buy it from, Valve or be it a third-party manufacturer, maybe, I don't know, Dell or someone could make one, or Asus or whoever makes one, you're going to have that down in your living room, connected to your TV with a controller. I don't know also if they're making their own controllers or if they might be using Xbox Ones or something, but say you have that downstairs, you can stream all of the games you would play on your PC to that. So it's like the Nvidia Shield, which is something we'll be seeing at Eurogamer, but it's straight into your big TV and playable like you were playing it through the Steam box. And if that works, I think that might help bridge the gaps between being a PC gamer and transitioning over to the Steam box.
If they're going to go to all this trouble to make the Steam box and do what they're going to do with it, then wouldn't they make their own controller? I get it, that you can use an Xbox One, but if you're going to do that, as a company, I would be going, hang on a minute, why do we want to use an Xbox One?
What I meant really was, like, if Valve are making their own system and then other companies are going to be making the system as well, is there going to be one controller that works for all the systems, or is each different system that has the same OS, stuff like that, going to have different controllers? Because it would be stupid if, they announced this, thing that everybody could make and build on, and then everybody just released different controllers.
Yeah. I think it would just be a sort of, just one individual controller, probably made by Valve.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Valve did something like that. I mean, what about the Ouya though? What's going to happen to things like that if this box comes out? It doesn't have mobile games in it, but it'll open up a lot of indie games which have built for Linux, which is how I guess they've got their 300 game library already for Linux. What's going to happen to stuff like the Ouya? And what's the one that's coming out or has come out? Is it Game a lot? Yeah, the Game Stick. What's going to happen to things like that? Are people just going to ditch them? Because the other thing as well is, how much is this Steam box theoretically going to be? Is it going to be the same price as an Ouya at about £100 or $150 or however much it was? Or is it going to be more like a PS4, or an Xbox One?
I think maybe you're looking at this the wrong way. I mean, a Steam box isn't going to be a PlayStation, it isn't going to be an Xbox. It's going to be a gaming PC, which means they're going to come in varying prices, sizes and costs. They're going to be the same as a PC inside. They're going to be having like RAM and graphics cards. And no doubt that'll vary depending on how great you want your games to look and what games you want to play. I think you'd be looking at like the cost of a gaming PC minus the things that you don't need.
But nobody's going to buy a Steam box for £1,000 or £700 because they'll just buy a console. The whole point is it's meant to.
That's true. I mean,
because the whole point of it would be that it's going to take over the Xbox or the PS4, and for the major consumer, the kind of person who buys their kid, their 13-year-old kid or their 15-year-old kid, or the person who buys it for their children at Christmas or their birthday, that's a lot of money difference. It's a lot of money to start with, but when you have the option of getting something that supports all of the AAA titles right now, and it was always done, for £350 or £430, or you get the offer of having this Valve box which may offer cheaper games, but is £700. Nobody's going to be picking up the £700 option.
I think
It's
if you
because
look at
it
this from a console standpoint only, yes, but if you're looking at it from a PC gamer standpoint, I think it's a whole different kettle of fish. I mean, how many people spend so much money on building a gaming PC?
Yeah, but then it's not a PC at the end of the day, is it? It's just when you build a gaming PC, you're building a PC that you can use for everything, and then it's also capable of playing games with the Valve box. You're going to have the Steam OS, so you're not going to be able to use it as a normal PC necessarily like you would with Windows. It'll just play games, which is where I guess the value difference would be, in my opinion.
That's the thing as an OS. If it was just the sort of big picture mode where it's just concentrating on just the games, then yeah, it would.
Maybe people would buy that for £700.
Yeah, but
or however
it's going to be streaming all your games across as well. You got to remember that. So you could have it for a couple, like £100, £150, whatever, like whatever you want to put it, depending on who makes it, and you could just stream all your games straight from your however much gaming PC you've spent. Like you could just put it straight across onto your TV. So it wouldn't. I can't see it being that price at all because of the fact that you can stream
being that
it.
expensive.
I don't think they're going to price it really high. They're going to price themselves out of the market if they do it.
Yeah.
It does look really interesting. I've got to admit, I was having a quick look at the Steam's big picture YouTube video that they've done while you guys were chatting, and I could admit I would definitely buy one for the kids, because when my kids go on the laptop, I haven't got a clue what they're doing. I mean, no, I kind of do, but they've got to be downstairs. But if I can just plug that into the TV and they can just get on with it, it makes my life a hell of a lot easier. Plus, then I can just connect and play games with them. But if that came out and was £700, I'd just go and buy my son a new laptop. I wouldn't buy it. If it was cheaper than an Xbox or such, then yeah, I might buy it. But you know, the battle for the living room, as people are dubbing it, it's really hot right now, especially with this coming out. One of them is going to dominate your TV. Is it going to be the PlayStation, the Xbox, or is it going to be Steam and their Steam box? What's it going to be? I don't know.
Yeah, what Xbox have done is they've tried to combine everything into one system. So all of your systems you have would be going normally to your TV, go through the Xbox, which is why they have a HDMI in and out. So what they're trying to do is compete for the HDMI 1 slot of the computer, or of your TV, sorry, and put your PVR and stuff through that. So that becomes like the central hub of your system. Whereas the Steam box is trying to do the same kind of thing, because they're working on media services like music, TV, and movies for the Steam OS. So it could become. They've got two ways of going for it. They could go for a PS4 or a Xbox One route, where they try and take over the whole living room, or they just try and take over the gaming side of things.
I think if they try and do everything, if they try and do everything like Xbox have done, I don't think it will work. But I think if they concentrate on just a few things and learn how us as consumers react to it, I think they'll probably do okay. But if they do everything, it's just going to be, it's like you walk into game now and you're looking at the Xbox and the PlayStation, and sometimes, I see loads of parents with their kids, they don't know what the hell they're buying. They haven't got a clue what it is that they're getting, because it's almost like with all that information, both the consoles are going, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me, and it's like, whoa, hang on a minute. But if Steam are really clever about this and concentrate on just a few areas, then I think they'll be able to get into the living room with no problem. Once you've got that audience, then, you've got them. You can just start slowly releasing the next stage of it. So it depends how they play it, I think.
Yeah, I think one thing I really thought was quite good that I did read somewhere, I can't find it for the life of me, but they're on about putting parental controls on the Steam box. So, like, if
I'm sold already then.
Yeah, if you put it downstairs, you can control what your kids play on. They won't play on sort of amnesia games like Martin was playing the other week. Like, you can control what they play, whereas the Xbox One, PS4, I haven't heard anything about that. And let alone even going to the GTA midnight launch. I've seen parents there buying their kids that were probably under 18, definitely, and were buying it for them at the midnight launch. Like, how can you can't control that?
Well, for the other parents that want to control it, like I want to control it, I find it really difficult, especially with the PlayStation 3, that I can't lock my son's account. I can't get him off it. There isn't any way for me to do it. Yeah, okay, I know that I can set the parental lock for the games and this, that, and the other, but if they did this in a different way and I could lock that one particular account rather than the entire thing, then that would really appeal to me. And I think at the minute there is a lot of money to be made with kids and the parents of what they're buying, because kids, they are the gatekeepers. They control what we as parents buy. If I don't have kids, then yeah, okay, I'm probably going to go out and buy both of the new consoles. But having kids, you start taking them into consideration. And I think, you know what, because they control what consoles seem to come into my house, then if the Steam box, if they did it right and aimed it at the family, which they clearly seem to be doing, then they are going to get somewhere with it.
I'm looking at the Steam OS page here, and they've got a point on family options. The little blurb thing they have is the living room is family territory. That's great, but you don't always want to see your parents' games in your library. Soon families will have control over what titles get seen by whom, and more features to allow everyone in the house to get the most out of their Steam libraries.
Yeah.
So obviously that there is, targeted towards the people that are going to be reading this online, which will be the children. But you know what they're saying? They're saying for the other way round as well. If kids of 15 or 13 or whatever age can't see any 18 games, even if they're on your account, which say for example, Con, you're the perfect example. You might want to play, I don't know,
Lego.
GTA. Yeah, Lego. I don't know, GTA Lego, which is an 18, but you don't want your son to be playing that, so you can just have like the same account with different family options, and when he goes on it, he can't see the games that you would maybe want to play.
I think it's great. I mean, me and my son at the minute have been playing Star Wars Empire at War. I mean, I think that came out like 10 years ago or something. And he's got a different version than I've got. So there's certain aspects that I can't play with him. But if I brought the other game and was able to share with him, it's great to know that I can, like you say, GTA Lego. I can hide that one, but I can, share Empire at War or whatever the other Lego games are, Lord of the Rings and this, that and the other. So I think, for me being a parent, it would definitely appeal to me, but I would be interested to see how they're going to market, what it is that they're really going to concentrate on. And, again, like I say, it seems that it's really geared towards family time. So
yeah, because the living room is a family area.
Yeah.
Whereas, PC gaming stereotypically is the teenager or the adult in their room or in an office area where they're kind of secluded on their own normally. Whereas the living room, it's a controller. There's sofas, so you might have 4 people sitting in there.
But have you noticed that it's really, really clever? Like looking at the page that you're looking at, obviously there's Steam Room / Steam OS. That the words living room must be featured in that 20 times. So they're clearly
everywhere.
Exactly, they're clearly just getting that in your mind so that you get away from that website thinking, living room.
There's 4 new Steam features focused on the living room. 2 of them are family options. There's family sharing, which is the one that we talked about before, where you can share games that you have in your account to other people. They can play them, and then if you go onto the game, it kicks them off or allows them to save their games and stuff like that. But 2 of the 4 major new features are family options, and they all say living room in them. So it's clearly they're going to be one of their big selling points.
I think that when this is released, that with how they're marketing it towards the kids and family, that there is going to be one sat underneath my telly in like a month of it being released, because I'm just not going to be able to get away with not buying one. It's going to be something that the kids are going to go, hey, let's get that.
Yep. So you got the time of recording this, which is the 2 days before the podcast comes out. It comes out on a Friday normally. There is 45 hours until the final Steam release, and hopefully the final Steam release will be about GTA 5, because that seems to be all anybody's been playing recently. Hopefully that'll be coming to the Steam box. So anybody here been playing GTA 5, and what are their thoughts?
I'm surprised you asked that question. Everybody's been playing GTA 5.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't have the game. I haven't even bought the game yet.
I'm going to play it at EuroGamer. It's got to be at EuroGamer.
Yep. I want to be playing at EuroGamer. Hopefully, with an Nvidia Shield in my hands, Oculus Rift on my head, going through a PlayStation 4, but going through a Xbox One and back out into a 3D curved TV. That would be perfect.
Sounds pretty good.
Sounds like a plan. So, who here's played GTA, and what do they think? Without any spoilers, please.
Come on, Terry.
Well, me and Martin have been playing it. Martin, you've been playing it on the PS3, correct?
Uh-huh.
Sadly, we can't get a Muse Culture gang going for the online, which comes out next week.
I will be getting it next week on the PlayStation, so there'll be 3 of the 4 of us, unless Con gets it.
I'll probably pick it up at EuroGamer.
There we go.
Is that for PS3?
Are you going to get it on PlayStation?
Well, if everybody else is getting on PlayStation, yeah, it makes sense. I'll do that too.
Okay,
no,
so
no point me being on Xbox on my own with my musical to self posse. It's just not gonna work, is it?
tune into.
I'm Terry.
Wait, are you getting it? So, how many people here are getting it on PS3? Everyone.
Apart from me, I've only got the Xbox 360, so I'll be sticking with that.
Okay.
The Xbox,
So
it's on 2 discs, isn't it, on the Xbox?
Yeah, it was really weird. There was that little problem with installing the first disc, which is it was just dedicated to install only. But a lot of people started to install the second disc, as you would with any other Xbox game. You'd install it and then play it for faster load times than a quieter console. But it decided to break the game on some people, and actually when you actually went to load into the game, it just wouldn't carry on loading, it would just freeze. And it had problems for loads of people. You actually had to delete it and then reinstall the first disc, I believe, and then just play the second disc just to get it to run again. It's a bit of a problem, but
seems to be a problem for quite a lot of people. They're saying about how the game just wouldn't work, and even GTA themselves, Rockstar, sorry, not GTA, Rockstar came out and said that we do not recommend at all that you install the second disc because it can just break GTA.
Well, they're doing well to say that it breaks, considering they did, what was it, 500 million in the first 24 hours?
Yeah, it was $800 million in the first 24 hours, which equates to about £500 million. They broke $1 billion in 3 days, which is, I think, 14 or 15 days less than the next quickest time to break $1 billion in sales, which was Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and that happened, I think it was 17 or 18 days that broke $1 billion. But it made back its money. It was the second most expensive media thing ever created, the first being one of the Pirates of the Caribbean films, I believe. It cost $250 million to make, and they'd made back the money on the game on pre-orders alone before the game came out.
Well, we'll be seeing another one then. GTA 6 for definite.
Well, give it about 5 years and we'll see another one, because they like to take their time on them, but who can blame them when you get figures like that coming through the door?
Well, I've not played it yet, but when I was at the cinema at the weekend watching Rush and White House Down, they were playing a trailer for GTA, and I have played one of the GTAs, about 10 minutes of it. I can't remember which one. I absolutely hated it. It's just not quite my kind of game. I hated it, but looking at this and looking at what was seen on screen, it was like, I've just got to buy it. Again, it's really not my kind of game, but I can't help myself but want to buy it. So I'm sure I'll be picking it up at EuroGamer because it looks absolutely amazing, and that's from someone that doesn't like that genre of game.
It's one of them games that it's such a big thing that you can't really miss the boat on it. You have to play it just so you're in the know.
You just need the experience.
Can you guys summarise how much, what percentage you've played on it so far, and can you summarise the experience you've had, especially with the character changing? You got Franklin, Trevor, and Michael, haven't you?
Yeah. I've played I think it's 60%. It came up on my last save. The percentage that it gives you is actually included on everything, not just the storyline. So,
have you kept just to the storyline, or have you diverged off into different things?
I've actually probably spent more time doing other things than actually doing the main missions. It's just that addictive and that big to just carry on doing whatever you feel like doing.
It's so easy to get lost on just the odder side missions. Like
Some of them are brilliant.
You'll set out, you'll be like, right, I'm definitely going to do this mission. Oh, is that a bike? And then you're just gone.
Yeah. The random encounters that you get as well.
Yeah. The game is like, even the stuff that isn't scripted is so ridiculously bonkers. Like, you can be just like, I don't know, walking on the street and you'll just see somebody just run out in front of a bus and just get laid out. Or you'll see
car chases constantly.
Yeah. I think the best parts of GTA are the parts where the game doesn't react as it should do.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
we saw a bus just pull up at a crossroads, and then this really small car just got the side of it and just started going down the side of it, trying to turn the corner, but the bus just wasn't moving. And I guess the pathfinding just failed on it because it was just there for ages, just scraped its way on the side of the bus.
Yeah. Probably one of the best things I've actually seen was one of those random encounters, like this woman shouting, "Oh, sort of get my wallet back! He stole my purse! He stole my purse!" And he goes running across this road, and this cop car comes out of nowhere and just takes him clean out, just boom up in the air, and I just walked over, grabbed her purse, gave it back to her. Reward, thank you very much.
Nice.
Yeah, because there's random things like that, isn't there? Like, you'll be driving along, and then someone will steal something or try and steal someone's car, and then you have an option to chase them, hunt them down, or kill them, or get back what they stole.
Or keep it.
And you get a reward for it.
Yeah, a few of them you can just keep.
That's not bad. So, how did you find switching between the 3 players? Because I don't think I've seen that in many games before, where you have 3 main characters. Which are you forced at any point to change between them, or could you theoretically play the whole game with one character?
No,
you do need to move between them. Yeah.
Yeah, you are forced to change on a couple of occasions, but it's the only problem I'm finding is that I am favouriting one.
Yeah. So
it's not so much that I can't relate to any of the others, or I can't relate to any of them, to be honest. But I just find in 2 of them to be a bit of a drag, and that's Michael and Trevor. It's just I don't want to really seem to play them.
No, I like Michael. I don't. I can't relate to Trevor. I just nah. Michael I like playing as, and frankly he's alright, but Michael I enjoy.
Yeah, I think with the Trevor character, he's sort of the old school Grand Theft Auto, where he's a bit more crazy and not really sort of taking anything seriously.
Yeah, it's a lot of his missions do seem to resort to classic, like not GTA 4, but even earlier, like top-down Grand Theft Auto craziness, like rampages and things.
Yeah, there's actually a couple of rampage missions where you just go on a murdering spree.
Have you guys found the what their special powers that they have? I mean, I know it's nothing like Saints Row where you get these stupidly overpowered ones, but how have they influenced the game at all? Or do you just not use them?
To be fair, I've used Franklin's because his is a driving one. Slow-mo driving
when you're in the car.
That's very useful to have.
Very useful, yeah. But I can't say I've actually used Michael's. What is it? Do you actually know, Maureen?
It's bullet time, slow-mo shooting.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, because Trevor's...
Oh, Trevor's, sorry.
Trevor's increases your damage and makes you slightly more durable.
Oh, okay.
So, like, Franklin's is for driving, the other 2 guys are just for shooting, which is a little bit more redundant.
I find with the assisted aim that they've brought in, I know you can turn that off, but the assisted aim that you've got, where you just, when you get your shooting skill up to 100%, you press the aim button and it just flicks to the nearest enemy. Yeah, it is useful, but I find I'm going to turn it off because it's just getting too easy.
See, I'm glad you said that, because I was wondering if it was just me, because it's just aim, shoot, release, aim, shoot, release. Yeah. It's just killing everyone around you.
Yeah. To be fair, with the Trevor missions, who I'm just blitzing through, it's not a problem. It's quite nice. But when you actually come to a mission you want to concentrate on or sort of take your time, enjoy it, it's just not... It's taking the fun out of it a little bit.
I don't know if it's just me, right, but does anybody else playing the game have found that when you try and jump with your character, sometimes your character just loses all grasp of gravity and just like... they just go all floppy and they'll just hit the wall, so you'd be like jumping a ladder and they'll just go... and just hit the wall and just drop flat.
I've seen a lot of videos of the physics in it where, if you get hit by a car or you run into something, you just flop to the ground.
Essentially, the minute you get hit by anything, muscles stop existing, and sometimes when you jump, it happens as well.
Yeah, their ragdoll physics is kind of weird. It's almost like you just lose all your bones until you fall down and then you get back up and you're fine.
It is.
Terry, do you think that your collector's edition was worth it?
Oh
yeah.
I was waiting for that question.
I had to get it in.
I've had the use out of the hat, yes, I must admit, but the security deposit bag is... to be fair, the whole thing is really nice. You can tell it's really well done and they put a lot of time and money into it. But £120, probably a bit steep. It was...
That's a big investment.
It was, yeah, for not a lot of gain, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a...
Bit of an annoyance, but hey-ho, I was... completely committed to this game, so I'm not feeling hard done by in the slightest. Just, when am I going to use a security deposit bag?
Are you going to be getting the...
I think you should go to the bank with your money, mate.
Yeah, you've got to use that. You've got to use
think
a
you
wallet.
should.
Yeah,
Put change in it and stuff like that. How big is it?
Probably about, I'd say 19 inches, probably about the same size as my Mac. Yeah, probably about 19 inches.
Nice. Yeah,
so I can't really use it as a wallet. It's a nice idea.
So are you going to be getting the limited edition FIFA 14 or PES 14?
No.
Because PES has been... Oh, has PES already been released? I can't tell. I don't really keep an eye on PES because it seems to be an inferior product to FIFA, but FIFA's being released soon, isn't it? This week.
Well, fun fact about PES, in Japan, PES is called Winning 11 because PES is Japan's FIFA. It has all the Japanese sides on and whatnot, so it sells a lot better over there. And also because FIFA owns the rights to pretty much every other football team.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing I don't like about PES, and which I think turned a lot of people off, is that FIFA and EA primarily, but you know the brand FIFA, they bought up most of the rights to nearly all the teams that you could ever want to play for. So they have the real team names, the kits, the players, like all the statistics, stuff like that, from the actual players. Where if you go over to PES, take for Arsenal for example, which is the team I support. You go onto FIFA, you've got the whole Arsenal team, you've got all the players, you've got the manager, you've got the stadium, stuff like that. You go onto PES, and you've got the North London Reds, which not the real badge. None of the players, they kind of look the same, but they can't because otherwise they'd be breaching, I guess, copyright. And then also none of the players have the right names, not the right stadiums. So any of the leagues you'd ever play in isn't realistic, and I think that's the whole point of buying a sports simulator, is you want it to be as realistic and as real to life, so you can connect with it as well. Because you'd buy players that you like watching play in real life, and you can't do anything like that on PES.
Yeah, the only thing that I would say is that I know actually it was a few years ago now, the actual gameplay in PES was actually a lot better than the FIFA game, and that was what drove a lot of people to play it. But agreed, it does come to a point where when you're playing with people like Craig Bellamy, who's actually called Craig Bellacy, it's like, well, it's not him, is it?
No, it ruins the game, because you say you do the career mode and you start building your team up and you want to look for Gareth Bale. He's really called Gary Bailing or something. You don't really know who's who, and they don't have the right statistics and stuff like that. So the problem is PES, I guess they just can't afford to buy them, or FIFA just won't sell them.
That's the thing. It's a similar situation with the Madden series owned by EA, when they just bought out the whole. I think they got an NFL right, and 2K just actually couldn't fund to do their own NFL game. It's a similar situation, but yeah, Konami, is it, that does PES? They just went completely down a different route, didn't they? Let's just take all the players as much as we can and change the names a little bit.
But the other problem I find with the game simulators like this, the only update I really see, like a big update, apart from this year where you've got next gen consoles and they're coming on that, is that the games don't seem to have, they're very incremental changes in the games, like we updated players, kits, maybe a little bit better graphics, but there's nothing really, it's not a revolution, it's just an evolution of a game that's already pretty good. So, I mean, I've got FIFA 13, and I'm not getting a next gen console when they first come out, so I don't think I'll be getting FIFA 14 when it comes out. I don't think it's worth the money. Yeah,
it's an awkward one. I do agree with you. It's just sort of a little bit of a graphics update, not a lot else.
Yeah. I mean, I've been playing it on the iPad. I downloaded it today because I go on the App Store when I can, and it was the top free app. FIFA 14 is the top free app on the Apple App Store at the moment, which I thought was weird because I remember them always charging for the FIFA games. So I go onto the reviews of it, and there's a lot of bad reviews and a lot of good reviews. So straight away I was thinking, what have they done? Have they made it a pay-to-play system? 10p a match or something stupid, or like pay for players? But what they've done is they've opened up the game to download and play to start with for free, and then the game is £3, I think, like inside the game if you want to buy the full game. But a lot of the reviews that they've been talking about, they've been saying a lot about the fact that it's just FIFA 13 on the thing with new menus, and I've already bought FIFA 13, so I'm not now buying FIFA 14. But again, it's the same thing. They seem to try and get away with as little development as possible when it comes to really new features, and I guess which is why they're not going to see that many people buying the next version, especially on the iPad, because it's got a load of terrible reviews, and there's no easy way. I've looked at it, and there's no easy way of just buying the game. I presume they prompt you at some point. I haven't played too much of it.
Yeah, it's an awkward one. Sort of having football, like how much more can you advance football from football?
I mean, football is a game, and it's a game. You can't change the rules of a game that already exists because they won't be realistic. Yeah. So it kind of stops. I mean, you got Need for Speed who are doing the same kind of thing on some of their games. And it's EA again, isn't it? Need for Speed.
Yeah.
You got them making. I got Real Racing 3, which is an EA game, which is a free one for iOS, and it's really good. It's probably one of the best ones out there. And they've got like a kind of, they got a pay to progress quicker than normal strategy where you can pay to get a load of coins and money,
Yeah.
but it doesn't hinder the gameplay if you don't. It just takes you longer to do it.
So sort of like
And,
a double XP sort of bonus.
Yeah, like you know,
Yeah.
if you pay money, you get these coins that help you upgrade your car quicker
Ah, right.
and stuff
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
So you can play on. And talking about Need for Speed, the Need for Speed, there's a movie trailer that came out recently. Has anybody seen that?
I haven't seen the trailer yet. I saw it just before the podcast. I'm going to watch it afterwards. I've seen some of the first look pictures, but not the trailer yet.
Yeah, I
And
haven't.
has everybody heard the big news that Aaron Paul, the guy from Breaking Bad, I want to sound bad now because I don't know which character is in Breaking Bad. I can't remember the name.
Jesse.
Yeah,
That's
Jesse.
the one. Yeah, him. Yeah, that's it.
I'm actually really glad
Um,
he's got something sort of at least this big.
Yeah, because they had the they're still doing. Is it ABC? Are they the people who are making the knockoff series? It's not ABC, is it? Someone else. The American company who made Breaking Bad and stuff like that. They're doing the knockoff series with. I'm going to say it wrong. Sal.
Sal.
So
Yeah, Sal.
Yeah, they are making a prequel to Breaking Bad, which is going to include him, I believe, as the main character.
that'd be pretty good. I'd like
yeah,
to see
would,
that.
They're also apparently doing the same thing with The Walking Dead, where they're going to have like a different storyline that intersects their storyline, and that's going to be a new series. But I can't remember the name of the company. I think it might be ABC, but I don't think it is.
AMC.
What, for The Walking
Yeah.
Dead?
AMC.
Yeah.
That's the one. Are they the people that made Breaking Bad as well?
No,
I believe so.
I don't believe. Oh.
I thought they were.
Yeah,
I
it
thought they
is
were making
AMC.
Soul.
Yeah.
It is AMC, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of their major series, because they do Dexter as well, don't they? All of their like big series of
I think HBO
Ending.
do. I believe.
is that HBO? I thought it was AMC.
I could be
Although
wrong.
I don't really know too much about these TV shows.
Dexter is Showtime.
Okay. But yeah, a lot of big
Yeah.
series are kind of stopping at the moment.
Yeah.
Well,
And,
I mean, Walking Dead's coming back on, so I think Walking Dead will take over the minute that Breaking
Yeah.
Bad finishes,
Hmm.
but
which
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
good
be
that-
happy about.
Aaron Paul's getting other work now because from the bits I've seen of Breaking Bad, I've seen up to season 2, but kind of lost a bit of interest. Been doing other things, and I liked him. I thought he was really good.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Have you guys been keeping up to date with the weekly episodes of the last season of Breaking Bad? With the last one being this Sunday, is it?
Yeah,
Oh, I watched it.
What do you
Monday
guys
night.
think?
The
Without
pe-
any spoilers, give your opinion.
the penultimate episode's it's a real knuckle biter. It's
Yeah.
just like.
Don't-
Are they? Are they dragging it out in a bad way, or is
No,
it? kind
no,
of-
it's definitely on a landing pattern now. It's not rushed. It's not slowed either. It's exactly as it should be.
It's completely. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Okay. Then my next question was going to be: is it a convention? Do you think it's going to be a conventional engine, or are you guys still completely no idea what's going to happen?
It could go either way, I think. I mean, I think I know the way that, like, as a general viewer, you'd want it to go, but whether it will or not, I mean, Breaking Bad has consistently defied the the watchers' expectations of it.
Definitely.
It's not so much a TV show that fills the needs of what you want as a viewer. It's a character study of like a man's fall, I guess, into criminality and like this creation of this character and how he becomes him. So it's not really so much what would you like to see, so much as how do you think Walter White as a person will react. And like that's a question I don't know the answer to.
It's
He's an interesting character, and it's a really clever, plot line where he starts off as a chemistry teacher.
Yeah.
And that's it's almost like the blend of every perfect combination into a story that it's the kind of story that you could hear in real life. Like after all of it, you wouldn't hear the whole storyline, but you might hear the story after it's happened. Like if he gets I haven't even watched the end bit, but say he gets caught. Well, has he already been? I don't want to spoil anything, but let's just say he gets caught. I'm probably going to sound stupid now because everybody who's watched it knows what's going on. But let's say he gets put in prison for 50 years. It'd be the kind of thing that you'd read in the paper and would be a really interesting story to read about how he started off as a chemistry teacher and then got cancer and ended up being put away for it. But I don't know. It seems to be one of them series that is just a perfect combination.
I think Breaking Bad more than anything is it's a personally driven series because it starts about this this superficial mild mannered chemistry teacher. He's been beaten down by his second job. He hasn't got enough money. He's got a big family, and that's just a basic character. But as the series goes on, you begin to explore more aspects of Walter White. You get to see sort of the pride and the ego behind the man, the things that like maybe you wouldn't understand about a person if you just met them. we've spent a lot of time with Walter getting to know him, and I think now you're starting to see all those elements that you come to recognise sort of coming together now. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing for him, we don't know yet.
And do you feel TV in general is going to start heading that way now, where it's almost going to become like a profiling, where people are, you start off with this person living a normal life, something happens to him, and then you learn about him rather than like a big storyline based around multiple main characters.
I'd like that to be the case.
Yeah.
I mean, character study pieces have always been the most interesting. I mean, Firefly was one gigantic character study. That was one of the reasons it didn't do so well when it first came out. But maybe TV's ready for that nowadays.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
And on the topic of Firefly, Joss Whedon's TV show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. came out yesterday in America.
That's
right.
that, yeah.
Can you tell me something
Out
about
on
that?
Friday here, isn't it?
I believe so. I think Channel 4's got it coming out.
Yeah, 8 o'clock Friday.
Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the TV continuation of the Marvel Universe. If you've seen The Avengers, it's based around Phil Coulson, the sort of secret agent guy from there. It's supposed to be about the middlemen in this universe, not the superheroes, not the bad guys, the guys in between it.
Yeah.
Have you seen the trailer for it?
I did. Yes, ages ago.
What do you think?
I think it's a really interesting idea. I really like the focus on the character of Phil Coulson. I think he's going to be a really interesting character.
I'm not sure if I'm sold on it yet. It's a little bit cheesy for me. I really need to watch it first before I form an opinion, but I've seen the trailer a few times, and especially when that guy walks to his car and he's like, "Don't touch Lola." I'm like, what?
He's on an aircraft carrier as well. Just kind of like, I was a bit...
It didn't really do it for me. I was expecting to be like, really... I know that it's not going to have, Iron Man in it and Loki and Thor. I got that, I understand that, but I really was expecting to be wowed by the trailer, and I don't feel wowed.
It feels too light-hearted for me, to be honest.
It does, doesn't it? It's just not doing it.
One of the other bits, they ask, I think a guy's getting interviewed for actually joining S.H.I.E.L.D., and they say what S.H.I.E.L.D. actually stands for. And
why do you think it's S.H.I.E.L.D.? Yeah. Someone really wanted our name to spell S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. It's that sort of thing. Like, alright, yeah, it did make me chuckle, but I was like, that's not what I was expecting from this sort of thing.
Yeah, it made you chuckle, but when you saw it again, when we went to the cinema, they were playing it at the cinema, and we saw the trailer 3 times on 3 separate films, and then I saw it again on Monday when I went to go and see Insidious 2, and it was just like, do you know after you've seen it that many times, it's just not funny anymore? But you know what, Patrick, we'll have to watch it after Eurogamer on Friday and see what we think.
We have to do that. How was Insidious 2? You just said you saw that, and I've seen quite a bit about that. I saw the first Insidious. What was Insidious 2 like?
Well, I haven't seen the first one, so I've got to admit I'm not sure if it's a follow-on story or not. I don't really know anything about Insidious. It was pretty good. I'm a real big baby. I don't like jumpy films. But we went to go and see it. It was okay. It's about a boy and his dad, and there's a link between the two of them and the spirits that they can see, and I'm not going to tell you too much more than that because it will ruin the story. I thought it was okay, actually. It was all right, but I think it's led it on. It's definitely left it open for a third one.
Yeah, they did do that.
And like I said, because I haven't seen the first one, I don't know whether the same people are in it or whether it links. But the third one is definitely going to be about somebody else. It was okay. The acting was a little bit wooden on it. I was a bit confused actually because this is a horror film, okay, and I think now horror films aren't what they used to be. I remember watching, Nightmare on Elm Street, which is coming back out again at the cinema, I think for like one night only sort of thing, and that freaked me to death. I was so scared of that, and Halloween, watching that at ages that I shouldn't have been watching it. I couldn't sleep for a week. It really scared the hell out of me. But now watching these things, when they put something comical in there, there's this guy, not really a spoiler thing, but he gets like a tranquilizer dart in his ass, and just falls asleep. And right at the end of the film, he just comes through a door and just like a karate chop sort of thing, and falls asleep against the wall. And it was a little bit like, hang on a minute, what is this, a comedy or a horror? There was little things like that in it that I was just like, you know what, you didn't really need it. And it makes me sort of feel that horror now, the genre of horror, is more for teeny boppers than it is, for real hardcore horror films. Give me something like, was a film called the guy that was in Jurassic Park, Sam and Neill, Event Horizon. Give me something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. Again, like I say, I'm not really the horror fan, but I like a good horror film that scares the hell out of me. But this was just like, nah.
the last horror film I saw at the cinema was Paranormal Activity 3.
Yeah, that's teeny bopper material as well.
Yeah, it just seemed to be jump scares. There was one jump scare at the beginning, and I saw it coming. It was a picture. The scene was, it was their bedroom. They had to set up a camera in there because the whole idea is that there was some sort of ghosty thing, scary thing in their house, and the picture just fell off the wall in the middle of the night. And you just knew because it was the only thing on the wall, the only thing in frame that could move, because the bed was like out of shot enough that that you wouldn't see people moving, but it was the only thing that moved in the whole entire frame, and it was just so obvious it was happening. And from then, like watching that film, I wasn't scared of any of the jump scares or anything like that because I just knew they were going to happen.
I think if you want to go and see a good film that's out in the cinema at the minute, you should definitely consider going to see Rush. That was good.
Yeah, I'm definitely considering that.
It didn't look it, I got to admit, when I saw the trailer to it, I was like, take it or leave it kind of thing. Wasn't really sold on it, but it's the whole story between James Hunt and Niki Lauda in the 1976 Formula 1 season of their rivalry.
I want to see that film. We talked about that last week's podcast, didn't we?
I probably switched off a little bit because I was a bit like, I really don't want to go and see that. But Marie was like, no, let's go and see that, and White House Down. And actually, it was really good. It's one of those films that you know what's going to happen. It's a documentary film. You know the history. Even if you don't know the history, it's one of those films that just puts you on the edge of your seat. You're rooting for the good guy. I don't want to say that they were bad guys. Their Formula 1 rivalry, but I was on the edge of my seat the whole film. I just got so many mixed emotions with it. I came out, feeling that it was an absolute brilliant film, that I would definitely go and see it again. I would definitely get it on Blu-ray and watch it. It's really, really good. Between that and White House Down, definitely Rush, hands down.
That's good to hear.
I thought for the last little bit of the podcast, we'd just talk about, me, Con and James are going to Eurogamer Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So we're going to be doing a lot of content there, which you can see on the website and the YouTube channel. So YouTube channel, Muse Culture, just youtube.com/Muse Culture, and the website museculture.net. So if you want to go check them out, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll have content put up there in regards to that. But before I go on to that, our podcast is the perfect time every week for me to get an email about the Humble Bundle. So this week's Humble Bundle, and we're not sponsored by the Humble Bundle, even though every week I get an email at the right time during it, is a mobile bundle. So you get games for an Android device, and the games this time are Punch Quest, Bloons TD5, Time Surfer, which is a debut game, Star Command, also again a debut game, and if you pay more than the average, you get Raven's Sword, Shadow Lands, and Carmageddon. So I'll probably pick that up as I just got a HTC One a few weeks ago, and I haven't really got too many Android apps from it, but yeah, they seem to be branching off a lot of these Humble Bundle things into, you got the mobile one, you've had the comedy one, and then obviously you got the indie one, and then the one with the big games developers where they donate all their money to charity. But the last topic I thought we'd talk about is Eurogamer and the things we're going to be seeing there. One of the things is the Oculus Rift, and I saw a story today about someone had developed a game with a dev kit of reenacting the scene where you go into the Death Star and blow up the middle of it. And I wondered what your guys' opinions would be on playing something like that, and if that would be a good idea.
When's anything to do with Star Wars? Yeah, when's anything to do with Star Wars a bad idea?
That is a valid point. It's
so
sounds
is it,
like a
sorry,
really good
just
concept.
to clarify, it's not the trench run in A New Hope.
It is the trench run.
I think it is the trench run.
It is the trench
It is
run.
the trench run, not the one where they go in through the wherever.
It's the trench run where I think it's it's the A New Hope trench run we created for Oculus Rift.
Awesome.
Developer Boone Calhoun, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I apologise if I got that horribly wrong. Recreated the trench run sequence featured in Star Wars: A New Hope for the Oculus Rift virtual reality headset. There's a video here I've got, which I'm sure I can link down from the podcast and the YouTube video. And you are in the cockpit of an X-wing equipped fighter with an R2-D2 chirping on the back of it, and I guess shooting a load of people. And the demonstration features a console controller input, so I presume use your console to shoot the items and drive it around. But that seems like a good use of the Oculus Rift, and I can imagine that other the people who are making the Star Wars games now.
EA.
I think you can Yeah, EA are doing one. DICE are doing one. I always get this wrong. Battlefront 3?
Yeah.
That's it, Battlefront 3.
Yeah.
That'll be exciting.
Oh, yeah, can't wait for that game.
I think they're supposed to be doing that in third person and first person, because all the other ones have been in third person, but I think they've kind of got the idea.
You can go into first person as well, which was
Can
really
you?
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I just was it a bit jerky, just a bit off?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. Such a good game, though.
Yeah. When was the last? Again, that one was out years and years ago. That was, I think that was even before Half-Life 2.
Yeah. It's one of them games that got like a bit of a cult following as well. And
That's another game I've been playing recently.
I think the first one came out just after Halo 2. No, just before Halo 2, the week before.
Really?
Yeah, because I got them both.
What was the game? There was a game that was released. Oh, I can't remember what the game was called. There was a game that was released just before the Halo 3 beta, and it was meant to be this massive game, and it turned out to not be a big thing because Halo just overtook it. And I can't remember.
What is it? Star Wars or something else?
I don't know. It might have been Star Wars, something related like that.
Is it Republic Commando?
I can't remember now.
Republic Commando was amazing.
Republic Commando was great. I am gutted that they didn't do a second one. There needs to be a petition about that.
Yeah.
They really did need to do a second one.
They didn't make a second one, but there was a really good series of books written by Karen Travis.
Yeah. I do remember them doing that.
Yeah, there was a lot of good books written up until she had a falling out with the Star Wars Expanded Universe and had to leave the series halfway through.
Oh.
Yeah, well, she wrote a massive backlog of story about the Mandalorians and whatnot, and it was really well received, but it got completely retconned by the Clone Wars cartoon series, so she had a bit of a falling out with them because they pretty much just overrode everything she ever said. So she ended up leaving the series, which is a real shame because she was a very good writer. I think she writes for Gears of War now.
She does, yeah. She has written for Gears of War. Got to admit that really bugs me with the EU stuff because they did. Well, when I say they, I don't know who they were, but there was an interview done with Lucas, and he sort of said the EU, all the books and that, it isn't Star Wars canon. It doesn't really exist in the universe. So I don't know whether that's like a U-turn with JJ taking on board Star Wars, because obviously they're now filming what would have happened. After Anakin became Darth Vader and clearly became one with the Force. So I'm interested to see whether they are going to bring characters back from the books or whether they are really just going to step away from it and do what they want to do, because that is really going to anger some people.
I'll be very disappointed.
Grown up with that.
I'm a massive EU fan. I've got a lot of the books on my bookshelf, so I'll be very unhappy if that's the case. I think personally, George Lucas needs to stay away from anything he's created. Anything he focuses on now is an absolute horror. Like, the latest Indiana Jones was horrific. And if he starts fiddling about with Star Wars again, that could go down the pan as well.
I think, though, and I know that we were supposed to do EuroGamer, and I'm sorry, EuroGamer, but, Star Wars, hey. I think now that Disney have taken it over, that they would do a good job with it. I mean, I haven't liked all of the Marvel films, I'll be honest, and I know that people will kill me for it, but I was really bored watching the first Thor film. Second one looks great. Avengers, yeah, it was okay. Iron Man 1, brilliant. 2, wasn't so bothered. 3, now bored. But with Star Wars, I think that Disney can really do something with it, and I think if they really do start listening to the fans than doing a Lucas thing and just doing whatever the hell he wants, how he wants to do it, that they can really rescue that series. With JJ on board, I didn't used to be the Trekkie fan, but seeing the first film, I know that not a lot of people liked the second one, and he got a lot of flack for that. I still quite enjoyed it because I'm not a die-hard fan, but I am a really big Star Wars fan, so if they really screw it up, I'm really going to be annoyed, but I've got high hopes for Disney. If Ben Affleck can pull off Batman, alright, Disney can sort Star Wars out.
Disney can do whatever they like.
Yeah.
Disney have the power.
I'd love to see Benedict Cumberbatch appear somewhere in Star Wars. Yeah. I want to see more Benedict Cumberbatch everywhere.
Yeah, he's a really good actor. Problem is, he's done some big films now and he's got a big price tag on his head, so anybody who wants to hire him.
Well, there was a rumour that he was going to be in Star Wars, and then that was squashed by him. Because they're looking at, I think it was Alex Pettifer, I can't say his name. He was Alex Rider in Stormbreaker. I think he's supposed to be one of the Solo kids. I don't know whether that's been denied now. So there's quite a few actors linked to being the Solo kids.
If it will focus on the entire Solo extended family now, that'd be nice.
Well, if he did, that's a trick with the books of what happens to the kids in the books, and I'm not going to say anything in case anybody's not read them. It's hell spoilers on there. They're really good books. I don't know. I really don't know. But if they did it, I think they're really going to have to stick to what happened to the kids, because those books were absolutely brilliant with what trauma
The
those
new
kids
Jedi
actually
Order,
go
yeah.
through.
I mean, like, nothing ever goes well in the Star Wars universe. I mean, you've never seen a setting more set out to murder everything good about the world. It's just so full of nasty stuff and evil people.
It's just like an episode of EastEnders, really.
Pretty much, or Brookside.
Yeah.
Or Hollyoaks.
Yeah.
But I hope that they don't steer away from that. But I suppose we'll see what they do anyway.
Yeah.
So, interesting to see.
I think it's time to close up the podcast now. We're just tipping over an hour. And I think the final thing I'll do is go through everybody and we can discuss, well, not discuss, just say which game you have been recently playing and which game you're going to be playing in the next few weeks. So we'll start with Con.
I've been playing Diablo 3. I've done the review on it and I'm still playing it because it's an amazing game. What will I be playing? Well, really, we're at Eurogamer over the weekend, so it's no surprise that I will be playing Lego Marvel Superheroes and being on the Oculus Rift.
Okay, Terry.
I have been the one that has been stuck under Grand Theft Auto's stone and not being put in my head out at all. There is a review on site, and I will continue to play that until, well, I don't know. I just continue playing it until I've done everything.
And the game you're going to be playing in the future, I guess, is GTA as well, then?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm trying to think of the game. That's it. Marlowe Briggs and the Mask of Death. I will be playing that. It's on Steam and on Xbox Live soon. But yeah, I will be playing that as well. And review on site soon.
And Martin?
I'm going to be a bit late to the party, but I'm going to start playing Injustice. I fancy picking it up tomorrow, because I've been wanting to play it for ages.
And a game you're going to be playing in the future? I guess if you're going to be playing that one.
Well, it's going to be that, yeah.
Oh, it's going to be that one, okay.
Yeah, right now, though, GTA 5.
Oh, okay. And I'll finish with myself then. I have been playing F1 2012 recently, in readiness for F1 2013, which is coming out, I think, the 5th of October. I really enjoy that game, so I can't wait for the new one to come out. But the game I'm going to be playing in the future, which is not only going to be the new F1 game, it's got to be GTA 5. I'm going to have to get it. I would have got it earlier, but I've been doing other things, so I haven't really had time. But I will definitely be playing that, be playing online, and hopefully we'll have a podcast. We're going to be having a few special podcasts in the future. Hopefully we'll have one in GTA 5 where we're going around in gangs, you know, driving, stopping at lights, helping elderly women cross the road, you know.
You will be. I'll be running them over. Points. Hit points.
Yeah. Yeah, but
I'll be doing the ambulance mission.
We'll
to get
have
them
a few
back up.
things coming out soon, which you guys will enjoy. So I guess that's been it for episode 5 of the Muse Culture Podcast. There's been me, Martin, Terry, and Con. If you've got any questions that you want to ask us or any feedback, then please contact. What is it, Con?
It's podcast@museculture.net.
Yep, podcast@museculture.net. If you've got any questions or queries, or you know, just want to abuse us, or maybe add Con on Steam so he can get 10 friends and then potentially get the beta box, and then we can make videos and tell you about it.
Sounds
So it's a win-win for you guys anyway. So yeah, that's been it for this week's podcast, guys, and we'll see you soon.
Laters.
See you later.
See ya.